Hi, I'm Dr. Rich Blon, a host of the Healthy Stress Doctor podcast. In this, the 15th edition of the podcast, I'd like to carry on our discussion about values-based goals. And if you read my latest newsletter, you see that I mentioned that your goals, you're much more likely to carry out your goals if they really are based on your values and not those of someone else. But in addition to that, the real key to meeting your goals is to be fully committed to them. Traditionally, people think of commitment as an obligation to carry out some action, but from an ACT perspective, it involves one additional step. Not only feeling obligated to carry out some action, but also to be willing to coexist with whatever carrying out that action brings up. In other words, being willing to coexist rather than trying to control, avoid, or eliminate any troubling thoughts or painful emotions that are associated with taking that action. There are really 4 steps to taking committed action. The first step is really understanding that your mind is going to come up with a limitless number of reasons why you should avoid the pain and suffering associated with taking action. Your mind's going to dig up past relational frames that are similar to the goal and the action you're about to take, and it's going to extrapolate all the possible things that could go wrong, and it's going to bring to the forefront all the painful thoughts and emotions you had the last time you were taking action on a similar goal. So you need to understand that that's going to happen. The second step that you need to take committed action is to really realize that you can't figure out everything in your head before acting. In other words, sometimes in the process of meeting your goals, things will happen that you couldn't possibly anticipate in your head. So you really got to get out of your mind and into living your life and taking action. You can't try and figure it all out in your head before committing to action. The third step in taking committed action is realizing that most goals that you'll have that are worth setting, objectives and action steps around are really going to involve some sacrifice and pain and suffering. That very few things that people accomplish that are meaningful come without pain and suffering. So just understanding and accepting that will prepare you for the troubling thoughts and painful emotions when they arise. And then the fourth step in taking committed action is really being willing to coexist with that pain and suffering. And to not try and run away from it. So to know up front that this is a worthwhile action to take, that it's consistent with your goals, and that it's going to stir up some pain and suffering that you have to be willing to accept and to move forward. And this takes courage. And the bottom line is that some people are more courageous than others and have a greater ability to deal with sacrifice, in dealing with delaying gratification and really coexisting with troubling thoughts and painful emotions. That takes a lot of courage. The good news is that even if you're not feeling particularly courageous or you don't consider yourself a courageous person, you can develop courage at any point in your life. The only way really to become more courageous is to be willing to take action, to suffer, and then to come out the other end and see what it feels like. So you build courage by succeeding in meeting your goals that are based on your values. So good luck. I hope you can put this all into action, these 4 action steps, and start to coexist with your pain and suffering and move forward in meeting your goals. I look forward to working with you next month. Bye-bye.